If that's 6, we would need another 6. Wait, did I do that wrong? I'm so bad. Okay, this has to be odd. Okay. At least I caught that before anybody said anything in chat. Definitely can't be 9. Yes, because in odd and even, when you add them together, believe it or not, that makes it odd. And so we need another odd digit to get this all together. That's not 1 by the old given 1 here. So I want to look at this puzzle by Ratfinks, and Sarah's in the chat, I hope still. It's called Sir Squishalot, and it's a Squishdoku puzzle. So let's read the rules, and we'll sort of look at the puzzle and go through them. Place digits from 1 to 9 in every cell, so that no digit repeats in a row, column, or 3x3 region. Right. So I'll just read all of them. The dashed lines indicate the boundary of regions, and cells on the dashed lines are simultaneously part of the regions on both sides of the line. There's an anti-knight constraint. Cells the knights move away from each other may not contain the same digit. Standard killer, I think. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner. We don't need a rule about repeats because all of these are in the same boxes. And then white Kropki, consecutive, not all dots are given. Very cool. So what that means is that this is box 1 of the puzzle. Why do I have my letters on again? So that's box 1 of the puzzle. And then that's box 3 of the puzzle, for example. But now these 9 cells are box 2 of the puzzle. So these digits are simultaneously in box 2 and in box 3. And this digit is simultaneously in box 2, 3, 5, and 7, because it's in all of those via its position on 2 different squish lines. Let me catch up on this. It isn't a pure puzzle that can be printed on paper. Yeah. When I always solve a Marty puzzle, it feels like. Very cool, Dorlier. Okay, that's fine. Feel free to chat and comment. I mean, that's the sort of key of what's going on here. But I remember reading a little bit on Logic Masters about interesting geometry in here. And so this puzzle caught my eye because I've set probably 4, I think. I had like a week where I just went crazy and I set like one almost every day. Maybe not quite, but I set like a few in quick succession, including one that had an anti-knight constraint. When I first saw it's Jay Dyer that came up with this, I think, right? The original Squishdoku. And I saw that and I thought, I want to do like a miraculous type one because it's already so constrained because of the overlap in digits. And so I tried to do like a, what's that even called? A disjoint set thing. But it's absolutely impossible. You can prove that in just a few short minutes, actually, which I did. So I tried disjoint set, didn't work. Tried a knight's move constraint, and actually put something together that I quite liked. So I might know a few things about knight's move in these puzzles. I've also set some other stuff using the geometry. But the reason that this puzzle caught my eye is because all of the geometry that I set involves parts of the grid that I don't see here. So the geometry that I was using involved a lot of like Fistum-Fell boxes in the sort of here 1, 3, 7, and 9 boxes, and the sort of perimeter. Well, not the perimeter, but the perimeter of box 5. There's interesting stuff there, which I can explain. But basically, these 4 digits are always these 4 digits, and you can do that sort of in any thing. So if you think about where this digit goes in box 3, it can't go there and it can't go there. So it has to be there. And that's true for all of these, right? All of those have to match here because it's the only place for each of those digits in the box. So I did a lot of stuff, playing around with that. You can also look at these cells and prove it's a little bit more complicated, but you can prove that these are all 8 different digits, and that it's these 8 digits. So that's 2 sets of 8 digits, the same 8 digits, and that's also these digits, right? So you get like some weird set stuff that's going on. I don't know if any of that's going to be useful here because this is a different geometry that we're looking at. So I'm very curious to see how the geometry plays out in this one. I imagine it's going to be some different kind of Knight's Move stuff that I haven't thought of. So let's go ahead and jump in. One color, box 1379 and box 2468. Yeah, that's what I was. That's kind of how you got how I got there. Is you do set stuff where this is like one set. And then you do the other set. I don't know if we're going to need that here. It might just be Knight's Move kind of things. Knight's Move, jiggery pokery. But let's take a look at what we can do. So the one thing I do know about the Knight's Move constraint in this puzzle is that central square is super restricted because it can't go here and it can't go here and it can't go there. So it's going to be in one of these two. And that's going to sort of permeate around the grid because now it's going to be in one of these two and one of these two and one of these two. And now if it's there, it can't be there. So it would be like there and there, there and there. We're going to end up with one of these two patterns. And then, so it's never in any of these, right? But again, I don't know what that does because it doesn't sort of impact our cages at all. I guess I can take the low-hanging fruit here, right? Let's put a 1, 2, 3 over there. Seems like a reasonable place to start. So I'm gonna delete that coloring because I don't know what that does. But it is true for what it's worth. None of these other cage totals. Well, this one can't have a 1 in it. So 2, does it have to have a 2? If it was 3, 4, 5, that's 12. That does work, doesn't it? Yeah. So it doesn't have to even have a 2. 1 is placed in the 6 gauge. So, I'm not seeing why. So by Sudoku, all of these are ruled out in this cage. I guess if that's a 1, can we put a 1 in this puzzle? It would go there. So we could do like that, can't we? There could be that, presumably. Am I missing something? I'm not sure. Okay. So how do we start? Oh, anti-night. Oh my goodness. Of course. Jeez, wow. It was going to be anti-night. Of course it's anti-night. So if it's there, the only place would be there. If it's there, the only place would be there. So that has to be the 1. Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay, so that's now a 2, 3. All right, so we're going to have to do some anti-night stuff. I don't know why. I was like so excited. The only thing I used anti-night for was like this in my puzzle. Doing that starting thing. So I was like, that's the only thing it can be. That's what must matter. Okay, so none of these, that can't be 1. The other thing is pencil marking in the Squishdoku is really tricky. Because like you could end up with like a 1 pencil, like that kind of thing. It looks really weird. So Maybe we have to think, where does this digit go in this box? Because it can't go. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? This digit isn't one of those. This digit. So one of three. So that one's sort of pretty constrained. It goes there. Parity in the 12 cage. Because we need... Okay, so we have... yeah, that's fair. This is odd total, so that has to be even. I don't think it can be 8, right? Because then that would have to be 1, 3 is the only way to make 4. So it's not 8. If that's 6, we would need another 6. Wait, did I do that wrong? I'm so bad. Okay, this has to be odd. Okay, at least I caught that before anybody said anything in chat. Definitely can't be 9. Yes, because in odd and even, when you add them together, believe it or not, that makes it odd. And so we need another odd digit to get this all together. That's not 1 by the old given 1 here. So if that's 7, we need 5. It can't be 2, 3. So that can't be 7. That's the only way that works. If that's 5, we need 7. It would have to be 3, 4. So it could be a 3, 4. If that's 3, we need 9, and it has to be a 4, 5. So I think there's always a 4 here, which means there's no 4 here. It's the one thing I know about. So maybe we can think about where's 4 and no. There's always a 3 in the cage, isn't there? 3, 4, 5, or it says 3, 4, 5. God, oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, I did warn you at the very beginning. I don't know if you all were here. I was very clear that I'm not actually a very good solver. Okay, so it's a 3, 4, 5 cage, which normally you could say, oh, there's a fun X-wing on 3s, and it has to be like here, but that could be 3, right? I wonder if it has to be. Neither of those can be 3. That can't be 3. That can't be 3. That and that can't be 3. So 3 is in one of those positions. Now, if that's a 3, that's a 3, and that's a 3, which breaks. So I think that has to be 3, right? Let me run through that again. Because there's a 3 here, these cells which share this box can't be 3. Because there's a 3 here, these cells can't be 3. Now, because of anti-night, neither of these can be 3, or it would rule a 3 out of here. That isn't a 3. So we get one of those two positions as 3. Thank you, Sarah. If that's 3, then the 6 cage 3 has to go there because of the knight's constraint. And that can't be 3. That can't be 3 by knight's constraint. So that would have to be the 3 in the 12 cage, and those would clash. So that's a 3. That's lovely. That's really very pretty, Sarah. I love that. That's 4. That's 5. Okay. And now we get that that's 2. Oops. That's 2 and that's 3. Okay. Now we can think about where 2 goes in this. There's a 2 corner marked here. And 5, interesting. Yeah, there's a 5 in one of these 2 cells. Okay. So these are from 6, 7, 8, and 9. Is that worth notating? Maybe. Do any of these digits matter for up here, or are we meant to? Maybe 3 in the middle box is quite restricted now. It is. Oh, God, these puzzles are so strange, especially with the Anti-Knight. That can't be a 3 because it sees 2 3s already by Anti-Knight. These are all seen by the shared borders, so that becomes 3. I wonder if we just put 3s all over. Now, this and the... No. Well, there's no 3 in the 18 cage. That's not terribly surprising. What about over here? Yeah, it's a bit interesting. Sort of, but that doesn't really do anything down here because this one splits the boxes already. So there's no 3 in the 17 cage either, which is a tiny bit more interesting. Okay, can we do, there's no other shared digit. Well, ones. Is 1 going to be, I mean, this does all the work. Because, yeah, that one sees that cell, but this already sees that cell. So, but it still might be. I mean, it is still a bit interesting, right? There's a 1 in one of these. 5? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that does it. Wow. You really just, you have to like go through. You have to go through them. 3 in box 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aha. Why did I not even look? Very cool. Thank you. Is that all of them? Wait, I think I was, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's going to give us all of them. I did think we were going to get them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's as many as you can put in this puzzle. Another fun fact, you can only put 6 of one digit in the puzzle. There's no 3s in the corner. No 3s in the corner. I think, yeah, because Sarah set this, we could have ruled that out right away. Imagine that. That's 2 puzzles in a row. I think we'll move on. Let's go ahead and do. I'm quite sure that Stu's puzzle will have at least 1 3 in the corner for us. No, but that's 2 in a row without a 3 in the corner. Has anybody done the math? Somebody tracks all of this, right? Like all the solves. I bet that 3 is disproportionately located in the corner, like very disproportionately by how many orders or how many sort of why can't I think of the statistical term I'm thinking of? How many steps out? Whatever. It's far more likely than it should be. Let's get back to the puzzle. Now, can we do 5? I think I already looked at this. Yeah, that's what that 5 pencil mark is. Okay. In this box, 5 though looks to be quite a bit constrained, so that's got to be 5. Now, if that's not 5, that's 5, right? So if that's a 5 in box 1, we can't have a 5 here or here or here or here. So those would both be 5s, which might cause a problem here. No, we would get this kind of pattern, which seems downright likely. All right, I don't want to venture any further than that. Just wondering. Okay, so I have a fun story about 3s in the corner, but I don't want to spoil it. It's for one of my puzzles where I tried to make an adjustment to get 3s in the corner, and I was an hour too late. I'll leave it at that. It would have been. Sometimes I go to bed thinking about what could have been, but that's another story for another day. Right. I think we have to do some maths. I've been delaying as long as I can. but I don't see what else to do. I mean, I can see that. Oh, that could be 2, actually. No, it can't be 2 because we have a 2 here. So this cell isn't 1, 2, 3, or 5. I don't think that's good enough. It is true that it's not 2, though. Row 4, column 4 can't appear in any cage. Row 4, column 4. Yeah. Oh, so that is interesting then. That comment came in perfectly timed. So actually what I was getting at from the very beginning, I showed this at the beginning, and I actually think it is relevant now. This cell is very restricted in a Squishdoku puzzle with a Knight's Move constraint. Because in this box, yeah, I mean, I went through this. You get this pattern where it can be like here, 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 and here. Or it can be here, 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 and here. And it's the only place for this cell. And this cell can't be in either of these cages. And it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So that is a 6, 7, 8, or 9 that can appear in neither the 17 or the 18 cage. I'm sorry that I used purple. I don't actually quite like that with the blue right now. Let's do, I don't know why I would put blue under blue. Orange. Okay. Yeah, so I think that this is important. I wonder if this is what Sarah had intended for us to sort of discover and think about here, or if I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. But whatever this digit is, and it's a high digit, it's in neither of these cages. So is there, like, if it was a 9, it's not super restricted though still. If it was a 6, then these digits could be 2, 7 at a minimum. It still allows 9. It was a deduction you made and wanted to use, but you can bypass. Okay. It's lovely. I'm not sure I'm at the point where it's ready to matter yet. I just don't see how this can be. Maybe it's the 17K. If this is the 6, I wonder, can we rule 5 out of all of these too? Okay, so this can't have a 5 or a 3 or orange. Does that matter? So these digits can't be 2, 3, or 5, but they can be 1. You can have a 1 here. 1, 4, which is way too low. Like there's plenty of low digits for it. Okay, I don't think we're ready to use this fact just yet. So then what is it? What are we meant to do here? Is there more restriction in this box? Like 4? Well, maybe is that cell restricted? That could be 4. It can just be 4, 6, 7, 8, or 9. I mean, I could see if this is a 9 and this is orange, then 9 and 8 are ruled out. But even that, you could still get there. 7, 6, 4, right? Okay. I'm feeling a bit stumped here. Let's see. It's got to be geometry. I kind of. I mean, I'm wondering if I can use the things that I know, like these 4 are these 4, right? To do anything. Maybe is there a set trick that I wasn't doing? 2 can't be in the 17 cage. If that was 2, is that just by math? Why can't 2 be in the 17 cage? Also, why does that matter? I don't know. I'm wondering if is there a set thing going on with like the. It just doesn't feel like you need to use set when you have anti-knight. Where's 2 in box 4? That's a good question. Thank you. That's a very good question. Got to remember where the power. Yeah, okay. I did a poor job pencil marking. These middle digits in the anti-knight are very powerful. This digit, for example, is one of those. That one. And that is one of these. Okay, I don't think that gets me anywhere. But we did get 4 pencil marked here, which means that these aren't, that means those are from 6, 7, 8, 9 again. Lots of high digits. Because we have the 4 pencil marked here. Now we have, yeah, this is 6, 7, 8, 9 also. Because we have 1, the 2 over here, 3, the 4 over here, and 5. So that's quite interesting. Where does this digit go now? I wonder if we're going to have to do a little bit better like coloring. So this digit, which I'm going to make, I do hope it's coloring. I do like to color. One of those, you can get really, really crazy though. 17 cage must have 1 or 4, otherwise you can't make 17. Okay, so I just didn't do enough with that math related to the 2. Is that what we proved? Because it can't have 2, 3, or 5. So if it doesn't have 1 or 4, it would be a 6, 7, 8, which is 21. That's not good. If it was a 1, it would have to be a 197. So it could be 197 or 4 and 13, which isn't 9-4, isn't 8-5, 4-7-6. So either way, there's a 7 in it. Is that right? Because, okay, as Dorlier and others, I think, the chat combined forces proved that there has to be the 5, because I have a 5 pencil marked here in box 5, because the 5 by Sudoku and Knight's Move in box 5 has to go here. And if that's 5, it rules it out. If that's 5 by Knight's Move, it rules it out. So there can't be a 5. There can't be a 3. There can't be a 2 because of the corner mark here. So we proved there has to be a 1 or a 4. And if it's 1, it's 197. If it's 4, it's 476. So there's always a 7. And I'm going to just, that's tough. This is a tough pencil mark. That's a tough looking pencil mark. But there's only two options, actually. Right? I wonder if one of those is going to be proved difficult. Now, we did say that whatever this is, it can't appear. Oh, I bet that's what we're going to do over here too. Okay, so this can't be 7 anymore, because this digit cannot appear in the 17 cage, and we know that there's a 7 in the 17 cage. So orange is down to 6, 8, or 9. Okay, this is a tricky puzzle, unless I'm missing something very obvious. Okay, shall we think about the 18 cage? The 18 cage, because the geometry looks really similar. It can't have a 1 the same way it can't have a 5. Do we rule? We can do the same thing here. Oh, I really got to be a better pencil marker. I'm wary of over pencil marking Squishdoku grids, but this is important. And we know that it's important because we just did it over here. So 4 in box 6 now has to be in one of these two. So it can't go in the 18. 1 in box 5 has to be in these two. So it can't go in the 18 using our Knight's Move constraint and Squishdoku logic. And 3 can't. Is 2 enough? 2, 7. Can there be a 7? Didn't we do something with this logic earlier? So if did we already prove 2 can't for some reason? 2 can't go there. Okay, let me just run through these numbers again. 5. I think it can have a 5 there, exactly. With that 5. And then a 5 up there. Exactly. Which would rule out the 4, 6, 7 variety. We might need the 5. But we know that it can't have a 4. It can't have a 3. It can't have a 1. 4, 3, or 1. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But again, I think it's got to have a 2 or a 5, right? Obviously, because 6, 7, 8 is 21. Does it have to have a 2? I don't think so. 5, 6, 7 is exactly 18. It does need a 2 or a 5. Maybe we have to think through it again. So if there's a 2, we need 16, which has to be 9, 7. So one version of this is 2, 9, 7. If there's a 5, it's 5, 6, 7, right? It can't be 2 and 5. It's 2 or 5. And so there's a 7 in it both times again. And so we're going to get the 7. See, for some reason, I thought we were going to get another number ruled out of this and we were going to squeeze that digit down. That would have been really cool. But I think the point is that there's always a 7 here. So it's 5, 6, 7. Oops. Let's do that. And now I think we're going to be able to do this sort of same thing we were doing down here, right? I already forgot how that worked though. But there's a 7 in both of these. If that's a 7, that's a 7. Oh, if that's a 7, that's a 7. If that's a 7, what are those a 7? Doesn't one of these two have to be 7 though to get a 7 in this box? So let's try to make those two 7s. That doesn't work. And it's the same thing here because whichever one of these is the 7 in this sort of version of a 7 X-Wing will have a Knight's Move that sees that, and then sort of standard Sudoku, Squishdoku logic rules out everything else. So one of these two has to be the 7, which means that these two aren't 7s, which means one of these two has to be 7 as well. So we get this kind of 7 thing. Row 2, column 2 can't be 7. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay. I think you were just getting the same thing you were writing it as I was saying it probably. Okay. I took the corner marks out, but I didn't take the center marks out here. Okay. So I wonder if there's another. 7's the only digit we know goes in there, right? I wonder if we have a problem with combinations of how that works. Like if this is if this was 9972, that can't be 9. No. I'm wondering if we're going to get like 467972 and make that an 8 or something like that. 7 in box 5. Oh, probably. Because wait, what am I okay, so that can't be it. That can't be it. Either this or this rules it out of there. Either this or this rules it out of there. That's a 7. Lovely. Very, very nice spot. Okay. Does that do some things? It does some things. So that 7 in this box is down there. Right? Yeah. So there's a 7 there. That's not 7. None of those can be 7. That can't be 7. That can't be 7. So that's a 7. Now, is that going to do things? It does. It makes that a 7, doesn't it? Oh, it's really, really lovely. Really lovely, Sarah. I mean, that's so beautiful. You get this 7 and then this sort of slight difference in how the 7s make up here. That becomes a 7 pencil mark. That becomes a 7. So on this side, we can't do 7, any of these. That one by knight's move. That becomes the 7. That becomes the 7. Yeah, like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Is that all of our 7s now? We have a 7 in this box, this box, this box. No. That's a 7. That box, this one, this, and that gives us a 7 here. Very cool. Okay. And now what? Take a sip. Thanks to those of you on the other side of the pond staying up late. I think it's quite late over there. Although we're daylight savings, so it's not quite as late as it would be in a few weeks when you guys also flip to daylight savings. All right. It's 2 a.m. right now? Oh, so it is pretty late. Yeah. Yo, that's late. Stu, what time does Orla wake you up in the morning? Whew. All right. Thanks for staying with me. I like it. This is really fun. And I was hoping to do your puzzle next. We'll see though. My brain, it's hurting. Is it Nolly? Where are you? You must be like an hour further, like Germany or something? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea about the time zones over yonder. Literally no idea. Okay. No, Sarah, I love this. I'm just it's actually harder because I've done several Squishdokus, including a Squishdoku anti-night. I thought that I was gonna kind of sail through it. But those are the Norway. Very nice. Nice. 12 hours. That's fantastic. Oh, that's so good. Fingers crossed for you. Oh, okay. Is all of mainland Europe the same? That would be strange. It feels like it's pretty wide to be maybe just that part of, I don't know. But yeah. Wow, okay. Very wild. Portugal's the same all the way on the tip. Okay. Let's start thinking about this puzzle again. That's not 7. So we've got 6, 8, 9 pair in a column that doesn't have to have 6, 8, and 9 in it. Right. Well, that's interesting though, right? Because we did rule that this digit. Oh, Hold on. So orange, because of our central logic, can't go in these cages. But blue is in one of these two. But that only rules it out of one cage, doesn't it? Because blue, that could be blue, or that could be blue. It could be blue, blue, or blue, blue. I wonder if it has to be that. Because otherwise we're missing 2 digits from 6, 8, and 9. Well, 8's not in either of them. Can we miss? Yeah, I mean, that just means one of 6 or 9's not there. No, I don't think that's it. Okay. I'm inclined to think that, well, oh, that's interesting. One of these digits isn't orange and is also 6, 8, 9. It's probably blue because it works like in that pattern or that pattern. So one of those 2 digits isn't orange, is a different digit from 6, 8, 9. And would be kind of restricted to one of these two. So the digit that isn't orange in the middle box goes like that. And again, rules it out of one whole cage. I feel like I'm grasping at straws here. What's the sort of beautiful thing that we're missing? See, this is so confusing to me because I was like, where's the other 2? I thought that this was a 2 corner mark in box 5, but it's not. That's a 2 corner mark in box on this line, and that's a 2 corner mark here. It's really tough. The cages can't both have 6. Okay. Let's think about that. If this was 5, 6, that would have to be the 6. And then breaks box 2 or box 5. Oh, that's really complicated. I can see because like that could be the 6. Okay, so if that's 6 and that's 6, yeah, that doesn't work. If that's 6 and that's 6, then yeah, that is true. I'm willing to use that if it helps. The same does apply to 9. If that's 9 and that's 9, you can't put 9 in this box because we are, yeah. Okay. So okay, let me orange is 8. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't quite follow all of that. So let me walk through it slowly in my head. We were saying that this can't both have 6. So if this is 4, 6, this has to be 2, 9. And then 6 and 9 are both used. If this is 1, 9, this can't be 2, 9. It has to be 5, 6. And then 6 and 9 are both used. That's 8. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I do like that. I love this puzzle. I hope I finish it. That was very cool though. That was very cool. Thank you to the chat. That's incredible. It's hard, but that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That you have to do the sort of 8 logic, the sort of where does the middle, and like I said, it was the first thing I said. The one thing I know about sort of Knight's Move Squishdoku puzzles is that this digit's restricted into this kind of a thing. And I looked at the grid and I thought, that can't be useful, right? And then sure enough, here we are. Man, that's cool. I don't know how far that gets us. One of these is 8, one of these is 8, one of these is 8. I don't think I need to pencil mark that. My colors have done that for me. I think like if that's 8, then that's 4. So this is if this is 4 6 or 1 9. If this is 4 6, that's 2 9. This digit's probably pretty restricted then, isn't it? Because this digit sees all of this. And it can't be a lot of digits already. So that digit, forgive me, it can't be 3, 8, 7, or 5 by Sudoku in its column. It can't be 6 or 9 because of the logic we just worked out. There has to be a 6 in one. There has to be a 9 in the other. 6 9 pair in row 7. Oh, is that row? That's not row 7. Jeez, that's literally row 5. Wow. Okay. This puzzle messes with your head. Good call. Okay, let me think about this some more though, because both of these ones see that one. Oh, dang it. Dang it. Okay. That's a 2 or a 4. And that's going to affect this also. So if that's a 2, this becomes 5 6, that becomes 1 9. If that's a 4, this does this always have to be 1 9? If that's hold on. If let's do the obvious one. If that's a 4, that's a 1 9. But if that's a 2, that's a 5 6. Ruling 5 6 out of here, that's a 1 9. That's always a 1 9. Wow. Well, every deduction feels like it's blowing my mind. Is that the step I meant to see, Sarah? If that's the step I meant to see, like after doing this other thing, oh my goodness. So that's always 1 9. This isn't 2 9. I'm speechless. I'm so glad I picked this out. I was just like, oh, Squishdoku, very cool. That is incredible. Okay. Wow. That's so cool. What's weird is it doesn't tell me what this is. It just sorted this out. But I still don't know. Do I? I don't think I do. If that's 4, that's the 4. If that's 2, that's the 2. So this digit is going to be like in one of those two positions, depending on which way the 8 goes. I know. Isn't it lovely when people solve your puzzles and they like just love it? Is the white dot interesting? Let's take a look. What can this cell be? It can't be 1, 2, 3, 7, or 9. I bet there's probably more things we can do. 5 and 6 are sorted by the 5 in box 9. Okay, hold on. What? 5 and 6 are sorted by the... Thank you. 6. If I had done better pencil marking earlier, that might have helped. 6 now is in one of these two. If that's a 6, that's a 5. I think that is a 5 from the logic we did earlier. That can't be 5 anymore. And the only place for 5 in this box was there. I think that has to be 5. Right? It's the only place for a 5 in the box. That's 5. Does that tell me that this is the 6 as I suspect it? Or can that be 6 and that be 4? That would be 2, 2, 4. Well, it's a 4 or a 6. I don't think I know for sure that. I think it's probably a 6. Well, one of these two is 6. That's how we started that. There's a corner mark 6 in there. And there. It's not. Orange is placed by the white dot. Ah, yes. Thank you, team. Thank you, GDC. Wait, no. Who said that? Stu. Okay. So these are all orange. And these are not orange. Did I do that right? Yes. So now we can just do our 8s. That's probably gonna do it, if I'm being honest, because that puts like a 2 here, 6 here, 4 here, 4 here. That's not 4 anymore. This digit now isn't that, so that's the blue. Which means it's not 1. Which means that's a 1. That's a 6 or a 9. Do we know it? Maybe. Yes, it's a 9. Very good. So 9, 9. 1, 2, 3. We need a 4. Has to be here, right? Yes, that's the 4 in the box. And 6. Hopefully all this... At this point, you just like hope the Sudoku all works. Because I think it's just going to collapse now. That's 9. That's 1. That's 9. That's 4. 6. 2. We need a 1 and a 1 and a 2. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. That's a fantastic puzzle. Oh, you really don't have very many on LMD. I was looking. I don't have very many compared to some people who set so frequently. That is crazy good.